You want gore? You want some gore? The 80s gives you the gore, man!
Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here again with another unexpected video. I was going to wait till this weekend. I got a couple lined up that I've been wanting to do and working on, and top 30 horror films that someone asked me if I could do, and that has not been easy. And a top 5 black and white list that actually me and my son have been working on together. But last night I was up just a little too late, and I was scrolling through some of the top 10 of the goriest films, and I think I was on Junior Horror Movies, and I think it was Matt, and just happened to post, something, and he said, go ahead and do one. And I saw Moods' and I think Derek had a list up, and someone else had a list up, and so anyways, I got to thinking. I got up and rushed out to the living room and started scrolling through my stuff, thinking, can I even pull out like 10 good ones? And within 5 minutes I thought I had a list of 10. So this is what we're gonna do. My top 10 of the goriest films. They may not be, there's argument, but it's 10. Okay, so we got to pull out 10. So I pulled out 10 off the top of my, as soon as I looked up and looked at them, I saw this, and it's funny because I think 6 out of 10 of them come from the 80s, hence the beginning of the video, because 80s did it right. They always did it right, with practical hands-on effects, maybe some of the greatest we're seeing in John Carpenter's The Thing. So this is out of my collection, so if there's something in this list that you're shocked to not see, maybe I don't even have it in my collection. So you're not going to see Cryptic Plasm or Headless or anything like that. I just don't have some of these movies in my collection. What you are going to get is a little bit of a throwback, I think. Now, Moods, I know you like your combos. Well, you know what? I got something too. Cheetos, jalapeno flavored, and I love it when I can wash down with a little throwback Mountain Dew. So some of these titles are going to be throwbacks, and one of them is going to get a little love that I don't think gets near enough love. And of course, so my top 10 of the goriest films I think I have in my collection, or at least, So here we go. Number 10. Mr. Cronenberg, 1981. His classic, Scanners. If I remember right, in the 80s, when I was young, the TV spots that came out, they took the gore factor to a whole new level with the exploding head, and that redefined, at least for its time, what it meant to be gory. So number 10 on my list, Cronenberg's Scanners from 1981. Number 9. From 1984, Mr. Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, the one scene that just blew me away, maybe more than any other scene, was the bed scene. When he gets sucked into the bed, and it's just like, there's like a pause and nothing's happening, and then whoa, straight up to the ceiling. And the first time I saw that, actually on the big screen, I was 14 when I saw that in the theater. That scene just absolutely blew me away. But what was even cooler, when I read about how they did that scene and created the room and rotated it and just poured that blood through and just let it pour. And so it's an optical effect, practical effect. And dude, this movie has its moments. This is pretty awesome. So number 9, A Nightmare on Elm Street by Mr. Craven. Number 8 on the list is a newer film from 2009. And that is Borgola's Dead Snow. How can you have a list without zombies, Nazi zombies, coming up out of the snow? and you got entrails, you got everything. This movie is gory. It is gory, and it is fun. It is a fun movie. Anything that mixes gore and snow, okay, and a different language is pretty fun stuff. And this one gets it right on a lot of different levels. So Dead Snow. Number 8. Number 7. This movie, man, this movie is a classic. I mean, for me personally, okay, when I was a kid, I can't tell you how many times I rented this movie on VHS, and it took me a long time, but thankfully now with my region-free DVD player and my UK purchasing, I found this, a cover. It's not the exact cover art I want, but it's getting closer to what I want. And that is, of course, number 7 is Michele Soavi's Stage Fright. Dude, I don't know if I could pick a scene out of here. I mean, I love it, when that girl gets pulled through the floor, and then you just hear the sound of just, I mean, something's coming apart, and the hammer just comes up out of the hole. Oh my, this movie is sick. Okay, this movie is one of those VHS rentals back in the day amazing. So Michele Soavi's 1987 Stage Fright. That was number 7 from 1987. It's pretty good. Let's see, number 6. I went with the sequel because, I have the gruesome edition, and in 1986, Tobe Hooper, of course, followed up his seminal classic with Part 2, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. And I think the scene that stands out here in this one for me is when they are playing chicken on the highway as they're crossing the bridge, and boy, man, one of the piece puts that chainsaw through the roof, and that dude's head just, I mean, it's messed up. It is messed up. So number 6, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. Number 5. This is the movie I don't think gets enough love, especially for the gore factor. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Dude, that nurse, when he stabs that nurse, I mean, is it ever going to end? It is brutal. It has some brutal, gory moments in it. The hospital scene, the dream sequence at the beginning, is a fun way to start this movie. And I know the movie gets a lot of hate and everything, but again, if you know the backdrop story to what Rob's original vision was for Halloween, I think we cut him a lot more slack than we do. So at number 5, Halloween 2, Rob Zombie, and that was 2009. Number 4. This movie has grown on me so much in this past year. Guy Higgins, 2015, We Are Still Here. This movie, man, it may be a slow start. It has its moments early on, in the middle, but man, somewhere towards the last quarter, this movie turns. I mean, it goes into a whole new gear, and the end is just. I mean, it is a gore fest. It is unbelievable. You have never seen. Again, we've got snow, we've got practical effects. It's a love letter to Fulci. I mean, this movie, man. If you have not seen this movie, by the way, this movie it just came up streaming on Netflix. So if you don't own it and haven't seen it, then you need to get that Netflix going and pull it up and check it out. We Are Still Here from 2015. Number 3. Another one from the old VHS days, renting. I had to throw some Argento in here somewhere, so I'm going to go with the one that, man, it might be one of his most brutal ones. Opera, 1987. That first time, man, when she gets tied up, man, you got the needles going under the eyes. She is tied up, man, and she's got to watch her boyfriend get butchered in front of that. That is brutal. This whole movie, man, is brutal. Argento's Opera, 1987, number 3 on my list. If you have a love letter to Fulci, well, then you have to have some Fulci. So number 2, from 1980, City of the Living Dead. To me, I think the one scene that stands out, well, two kind of. I mean, the drill press scene is, I mean, it is brutal, and maybe the continuous upchucking of internal organs gets a little. I can't watch. I can't watch the whole thing. I mean, I look, I see it, okay, I get it, and I'll just kind of away, whatever. But City of the Living Dead, the Joe Fulci's classic, City of the Living Dead, part of the Gates of Hell trilogy from 1980. And number one, I wanted to do something special. Some of these I didn't see on people's lists, and I decided to go for number one. I've not seen anywhere on anyone's list, and so you're gonna laugh. You're probably gonna laugh when I go with this for number one. Now, I'm not saying this is my number one ranked gore fest. I just kind of threw these titles together real quick, and so the order, it's really the content of the list. But I think if you think about this film for just a moment, you're gonna realize that this movie is an absolute gore fest. I mean, I think the director, Tim Burton, just relishes in just letting the blood fly in this movie. And of course, number one, I'm going to go with something that is not on anyone's list, at least that I've seen, and that is, of course, 07's Sweeney Todd. And I don't know if there's one scene above another. It's just the continuous of over and over and over, and maybe just the subtleness of dropping the floor out and letting the bodies just kind of fall and hit, but I didn't see any. I mean, this is gore. This does get gore. I don't watch it very often, but this is not a bad film. I mean, you got Johnny Depp, of course, and of course it is Tim Burton, and you don't see Tim Burton's name on very many lists when we're talking about horror movies and stuff, and so I thought I'd do something different and just throw Sweeney Todd on the top of the heap, just for fun. And so there you go. Let's see. So number one, I got Sweeney Todd. Number two, I got City of the Living Dead. Number three, Opera. Number four, We Are Still Here. Number five, Halloween 2. Number six, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. Number seven, Stage Fright. Number eight, Dead Stone. Number nine, Nightmare on Elm Street. And number 10, of course, Cronenberg's Scanners. All pretty gory in their own right. So this is my little contribution, and I hope you enjoyed the picks. I mean, there's so much. I was gonna throw Day of the Dead in there, but then I saw it on someone's list, and I tried to stay away. I mean, I tried to throw some in there that I didn't see necessarily, and especially Rob's H2. I mean, I like to kind of get that in there where I can, because I think it needs a little bit more love than what it gets. So there's my top 10 gore flicks that I have, at least in my collection. So hit the like. It is VHS82 apostrophe, and comment if you like, and if you saw anything that was funny or anything at the beginning or whatever. But I hope everyone's week finishes out on a high note, and everybody has a great weekend. And of course, we'll just end with Go Bills.
One of these days, I'm going to dance with you. Listen.